Hey guys, so we're back and we're talking about heart rate zones in training and the effects that you can get from training in different zones. Today we're going to be talking about zone 4. So at this zone, you're at about 85 to 91% of your maximum heart rate. And I'll tell you how to determine that max heart rate in a future video. But at this level, you're only really able to burn carbohydrates for fuel, and you really can't metabolize energy for very long. You're really relying on ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and that means you can't produce fuel to operate at this level for more than probably like a minute to and a half. You're also generating lactic acid now. So at this time, your muscles are feeling sore, you're like feeling the burn, and your ability to last at this level is also partially determined by how quickly you can buffer that lactic acid, get it out of the muscle, get it out of the blood, and maybe even remetabolize it for fuel. You're also, though, probably feeling like an endorphin rush after your exercise is over. So you have these sensations of like feeling really good, like you've really accomplished something. And that's one reason why we really like having you do this type of exercise with a partner or in a group. You feel like you've kind of like survived this thing after you're done, and you feel really close to the people that are around you. I'll come back to that in a moment. This zone is really beneficial for training for speed. And so if you're in like a competitive sport, for example, that rewards all-out bursts lasting 40 seconds to a minute and a half, this is where you want to be spending a lot of your time. So hockey's a great example. Soccer, to a slightly lesser extent, you've got these periods of relative rest followed by all-out bursts of energy. And that's why zone 4 is really great for those type of sports. It also improves your oxygen absorption. So I talked about like the ability to buffer lactic acid and remetabolize it. You can get better at that by training in zone 4. You can also get better at absorbing the oxygen that's processed by your lungs, at distributing it. So bringing it in, having it enter your bloodstream, getting it to where it needs to go, and then metabolizing it, using it at the muscular level. And we call this VO2 max, your maximum uptake and utilization of oxygen. Training in zone 4 makes you better at that. So if you want to get faster, you can't just run longer. You have to run with more intensity. You have to run in zone 4, zone 5 sometimes to be able to, run at a faster pace and maintain that fast pace. This is a great training zone for competition. It's great for being used to training while your muscles are burning. I mean, some of that is mental, but also you can buffer that and remove waste products more efficiently. But you have to like train for the demands of the sport. And that's what zone 4 is for. This will also help you with heart rate variability. So over like the macro view, you'll get better at bringing your heart rate back down once it's elevated. Super duper important. You'll also get better from a micro view at kind of moving those heart rate spikes in your heartbeat into a more variable pace. So what that means for health, we're still really like unraveling the science on this, but it looks like higher heart rate variability is better for long-term health. And you can improve heart rate variability by training in all 5 zones, but especially in these zones of like high intensity. The one thing about zone 4, zone 5 is that very few athletes train at a level of intensity that'll actually improve their sporting performance. So hockey players will go out for a 5K run, and that'll build your aerobic base a little bit. But like, unless you're training in this very high heart rate zone, it will not improve your performance because you won't be operating in the same level that you're operating in the game. So that's one thing. It's also very hard to achieve level zone 4, zone 5 on your own. There are some, workouts like on Zwift, for example, when you're riding your bike and the trainer is controlling the resistance and you're just trying to keep going. Or if you're cycling very fast, like up a hill, you can do it. You can hit zone 4, zone 5. But if you're doing a workout in your garage or your basement or your bedroom, it is very hard to motivate yourself up to this level. And if you've been training for a long, long time at only lower levels, it's going to be very hard for you to reach this heart rate zone too. That's why we say friends don't let friends hit zone 4, zone 5 on their own. When you're in a group setting or when you're in front of a trainer and somebody else is pushing you to ride hard, to go hard, to train hard, to do that extra burpee, lift a heavier weight, keep going, and there's a clock running or something like that, you really need that external motivation to exercise in zone 4 and zone 5. It's just way too easy on your own to say, that's it, I'm done. To either stop short or to not push yourself to continue at that level. When you're riding a bike by yourself, like your wheel is always in front. And when you're training alone, you're always training as hard as you can. But a lot of people will find that extra gear or push themselves a little bit longer when things get tough, if they're with a group or if they're with a trainer. And so when you're training with us and training in front of a coach, you'll find that a lot of our workouts bring you into zone 4 and 5. And that's because you can do the zone 1, the zone 2 work on your own. You don't have to be in front of us. The coach will tell you exactly what to do, and you can go for a walk or play frisbee on your own. You can do a long bike ride without the coach being right in front of you. But when things get tough and you really want to get the metabolic benefits of high intensity interval training, that's where you want to do it in front of a coach or with a group or with a training partner. When we found CrossFit, it was a huge epiphany to us because it was very easy and kind of fun to be exercising in zone 4 and zone 5. And until that point, it really wasn't. There are certain times in your training when you need a hammer, but a hammer is not the whole toolkit. And so that's what we're trying to share in these presentations. The CrossFit type workouts are awesome if you're trying to go to zone 4, zone 5, but how often you need to get there really depends on you. Nobody needs to go there all the time to get maximal results, and you might not need to go there very often. This training in the heart rate zones allows the coaches in the Catalyst method to alter your prescription, but still exercise in a group so that when you do need zone 4, zone 5, you can get there and it'll be fun and you'll be supported and you'll have this community around you and it'll feel like a game. And then when you don't need that, you can do your homework on your own too.